Now, people have been making fun of this new scene from The Rise of Skywalker because of this particular line.
Oh, they fly now! They fly now? They fly now!
Oh, it's too quippy. It sounds like Marvel dialogue. Okay, yeah, whatever. Let's talk about this for a second, though. Compare this chase scene to a chase scene from this movie. Our heroes are going to be eaten by a giant monster. I wonder how they feel about this. Oh, they don't really care. These characters just can't be bothered to give a shit at all.
Just relax. Relax.
Okay, yeah, man, I won't worry.
That's a horrible example. The reason why a lot of people don't like the "they fly now" dialogue is because the movie sounds really pretentious by trying to imply that only now the stormtroopers can fly, and that they came up with it. Even though with the slightest bit of knowledge on Star Wars lore, you would know these dudes, even the clone troopers, they have flied for a while now. The Rise of Skywalker did not make this. Why is it bad Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan aren't showing emotions? They're trained Jedi Knights, warrior monks that are trained to be stoic and suppress their emotions. Luke did the exact same thing when he was gonna get thrown off a freaking ledge, or when he confronted Palpatine. But since it's the original trilogy, it gets a pass because it's God tier and George Lucas didn't work on those movies. Teehee.
In episodes 2 and 3. In episode 2 and 3, you find out that he doesn't really like flying that much. That's kind of a cute character trait. I wish he had traits in this movie. The only character with traits in this movie is, again, Jar Jar. So yeah, while Jar Jar is really...
This is the same dude who admitted he didn't understand the plot of this movie for 20 years. But okay, he's a reliable source, I suppose. And he literally gets the characteristics of the characters wrong regardless. Yes, obviously Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan in their earlier scenes aren't going to show a lot of emotions, because they're Jedis. They're warrior monks and are trained to be stoic and emotionless, or not to show any of it at least. And despite those, we do see their own characteristics if you actually watch the movie. Qui-Gon is stoic but firm, and his whole character is that he follows the will of the Force, and was shown bending the rules of the Order, to achieve a greater good. A good parallel to his character is actually to Luke during Return of the Jedi. Both Qui-Gon and Luke have, for the most part with Luke, learned to control their emotions and both follow the will of the Force to achieve a greater good, such as Luke trying to find the good in Vader despite both Yoda and Ben, two Jedis that are more experienced than Luke, to kill him. And they both have their rebellious nature as well. That's why Qui-Gon works a lot for me. He's a wise Jedi who was ahead of his time but still had his own characteristics and flaws, such as somewhat passive-aggressive attitude in it as well. And sometimes he can also be arrogant, like the fact that he literally brought a 9-year-old kid to a war zone, but I think that's more of a flaw in the movie. Obi-Wan also shows his own characteristics, more so than Qui-Gon does, because he's a lot younger than him. Though he also appeared stoic at first, we quickly see his witty side, such as when he discovers the invasion army, or when they encounter Jar Jar Binks.
If they find us, they will crush us, grind us into tiny pieces, and blast us into oblivion.
And we see more of it later during Coruscant, where Obi-Wan is the opposite of Qui-Gon. He's a by-the-books character and firmly believes the Order is right, which leads him to argue with his own master. But despite that, he still shows his care for Qui-Gon and apologizes for trying to stir something up. We even see he's willing to bend the rules when Qui-Gon tells him to train Anakin as his dying wish, despite the Council refusing earlier. Those are not emotionless characters, Cosmonaut. I don't know how you got that conclusion, but I guess you're just built different.
Most of the times when I watch this movie, it's with friends where we just quote the awkward or funny moments until we get bored and turn it off halfway through. But as far as the plot goes, I am only just now piecing it together after having watched this movie for 20 years. That is not a good sign. But hey, maybe it's just me, right? Maybe I'm the dumbass who just doesn't get it.